Right, so that's the blowings done on the BMWs. I'll give you a quick look. Happy with how the bonnet come out. Yeah, looks factory, which I'm pleased about. The sealer tape doesn't look too out of place. Obviously it's not exactly the same as the original, it's a bit thicker the original, but it's not something that you'd really notice. And now all the rust has gone from there, and yeah, blown in well. I like doing things like that where you sort of replicate. I know it's only small, but I like them little details, you know. I do get pleasure out of them when they come out well, and they look and they look like they haven't been touched. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. And yeah, and the shut and the sill's done. So yeah, all that looks fine. So now get on with prepping the body. So it's all sort of pretty much prepped, all the blending and everything's prepped. So just got to knock down the primer on the bonnet and on the front edge of the wing. Sort of gone over and had a look, see if there's any stone chips we missed. There's a couple here and there, so I'll adjust them stone chips with a little bit of fine filler and then get blocking on this with the usual procedure. So block it all down with 320, 500 DA and then 600 DA for the primer. And then I'll get the wing prepped, the new wing prepped, and that'll just be 320 DA all over and a bit of red scotch. So yeah, let's get the camera set up and I'll get prepping on it.
Should fit the wing on Brent,
yeah. I've only got room for the wing. But on when you prepped it, on the back edge, like obviously red scotch all the arch, don't have the arch, red scotch it, but all red scotch all in here. Alright YouTubes, this is the second video on this job, on this BMW E46 330 Ci. The first video was a couple of small bits of paintwork we had to do on the underside of the bonnet and on the sill. So we got those areas tackled first, and yeah, if you want to go and check that video out, it's about the small details and giving it a factory look. So yeah, just show you some preparation in this video. So it's been 2-pack primed. This colour Estral Blue requires quite a dark primer. I always try and match the factory primer, so any breakthroughs that I see, any factory primer on whatever colour that is, that's the colour I go for, unless my paint system indicates a certain ground coat for that colour. So I've just gone round with some fine filler, any small little chips that I could see in the primer. There was the odd one here and there. Just tackled them with a bit of fine filler. I used Dolphin Glaze for that, and then once they're cured off, I block it all down at the same time with 320 grit. And the sort of top passenger side of that bonnet, there was a couple of chips, but I sort of try and keep the colour away. I use that little last corner as a bit of a blend area, really, because that top of that bonnet meets the top of that wing, and that top of that wing meets the top of the door, so you know there could be a colour discrepancy there. The passenger side wing is only being done for blending, really. But if there's some defects in the area that I know I'm going to be putting colour in a blend area, I will tidy them up to a certain extent. just to make the job a bit neater.
That long level.
Yeah.
I know, so we were meant to play there last Saturday at their place, and then this Saturday off.
Alright.
Thing is, I think we're getting all of our home games done early because they want to start the pit.
So we're going to start it with it in the season.
I think like a month before the end, yeah.
Oh, what if we ain't got any home games
That's
left?
what it, yeah, that's what we've got them now.
Oh, right, what? They've been able to arrange when they went up their games then?
Well, it's crazy, like, Pally was the bloke that runs one of the blokes that runs the league.
Oh, right.
I think it's that Mike Skinner, who's always like at the club,
Oh, right.
or someone,
Well, are they the ones that organise obviously the fixtures?
yeah.
Oh, it's definitely worth staying to have a season on that pitch, having that pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
So blocking it with 320 grit. I use all the 3M abrasives, so 3M Cubitron 2 abrasives. They are expensive, but the final finish from the sanding products from 3M, especially the Cubitron stuff, and the cut is just far superior than a lot of the others, and worth spending the money on, and the longevity of them as well. So yeah, bonnets, I like to. There's no like initial repairs on this bonnet, but you know, with a fair amount of primer on there, if you're trying to take out breakthroughs and, you know, paint layers on a bonnet, I like to sort of block it in straight lines initially, in the direction that you sort of look on a bonnet or a panel. Look at the way you look across it. That's the way I like to block it initially. Just try and keep it straight. Medium sort of pressure, really, not too much pressure, and then yeah, then just finish off in circles, really. And yeah, once I've got the level, you know, with a fair amount of high build primer on a panel, even if you've got no filler repairs in there, you could, you know, if it's not blocked right, you're going to create ripples in that product, because it's a, you know, it's got a fair film build, and you know, some primers, this primer's got a decent high build on the high build mixing ratio. It's like a small skim of filler in a way sometimes. So yeah, you have to block it nicely. You can't just run the DA over it, even though I have in certain situations. But yeah, to try and keep it all level. Yeah, it pays to take time to block it out right. So once all the dust is off, then I hit with a thick soft pad with 500 grit to get all those 320 grit scratches out. I used 3M abrasives again for this, but they're sort of middle of the road ones, the blue ones, not the Cubitron ones. They're middle of the road, quality wise and cost wise. They're still not cheap. But I find especially with blocking 2-pack primer, even the most expensive ones, and with dust extraction and the right heads and everything on your DA with the right dust extraction, it's a very chalky product when you're doing it dry, 2-pack primer. So it does clog up the abrasive before it wears it out most of the time, and you'll find that when you clean it all down, you'll still see 320 scratches in there. So yeah, you do have to swap the pads over and clean the pads off as you go in. And yeah, just found a bit of tape residue there. Need to make sure you get things like that off, because the DA is just going to skip over it. So yeah, do have to sort of take your time. I normally find I go over everything with 500 grit, clean it all down, and there's pretty much 9 times out of 10 there'll be areas where it hasn't quite feathered out the 320 scratches, so it will take another sort of going over. And yeah, just keep the DA moving really fast, really. Don't keep it in one area. Soft pad is essential, really. For most panels, they've all got slight curvature in areas, and yeah, keep the soft pad moving, keep it away from edges so you don't burn through. Always finish the edges off by hand, and check and then double check to make sure you've removed all those scratches, especially on, you know, your silvery high metallic colours. It's essential to get those scratches out.
Hello.
Where do you want the car? Can't trip him up. Can't trip him up.
Oh, you started on me already, are you?
Yeah, you coming down the road. Wherever you like last.
So we're on to a bit of masking now. These are a little bit tricky to mask, the bonnets on these. You've just got that underside lip on the front of that bonnet, which has got a full coat of paint on it. You know, you've got paint that's just drifted just underneath, and then on the lip where the kidney grills are, there's a full coat of paint. So with the bumper on and the bonnet completely shut, you know, that's what you'd want really, is to have the bonnet completely shut. You can't sort of back mask off of it, and you know, you can't get any paint under there because the bumper's in the way. So a little bit of a pain. Sort of have to mask the engine bay off from the wing, and then mask the underside of the bonnet. One was obviously oversprayed for getting under there, but again, for anything that may fly out of there, so you sort of have to have it ajar a little bit. You have to have it propped up. So yeah, a bit time consuming really for masking the front end. Instead of just putting some tape down the edges and taping off your edges, you sort of have to mask both sides of the underside of the bonnet, and then yeah, just experimenting with how far I can prop it up and whether anything's touching. So yeah, it was a bit finicky, the masking on this. So yeah, sort of done the underside of the engine, you know, in the engine bay, and then with some small sheeting, then the underside of the bonnet to stop anything blowing out from, you know, that engine heat cover in there. That's fabric, and we'll have all sorts of debris on it, and yeah, more really for stopping stuff from flying out, really, to keep the job clean. And then yeah, once I got it to a position where I knew I could get some paint just under the underside edge of where the kidney grills go, and it was all covered in there, then it was pretty straightforward from then on. So yeah, just thought I'd show you and talk you through those details of the masking on this. I don't show a lot of masking on the channel, but with this vehicle, yeah, a little bit of an older type of vehicle. The panels sort of a little bit different with the kidney grills in the bonnet as well. And yeah, just like to show them fine details, you know. I like to address sort of every area of a panel, really. I think about every single area of a panel, from the masking edges to, you know, to the preparation, what's seen when stuff's open, what's seen when stuff, you know, when panels are closed. There's a lot of detail and aspects to you know, painting cars, to make them look, you know, how they should look, really. So yeah, that's the masking on this. Yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. There'll be a video coming out of the painting stage of this fairly soon. So yeah, appreciate you watching. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you again soon.